So, in today's video,
Hey, shouldn't you prepare for the video?
So viewers, just like I have to prepare for videos both aesthetically and emotionally, homebuyers also need to prepare for the buying process through pre-approvals and pre-qualifications, which will be the topic of this video. Stay tuned. If you just started shopping around for homes, maybe you've talked to an agent, been to an open house, you may have been asked whether you're pre-qualified or pre-approved. A lot of people use these terms interchangeably, but they are actually two different processes by which a mortgage lender will determine your readiness to purchase a home. So then, what are these processes and what are the differences between the two? Pre-qualification is usually the first step in the mortgage process. Here you'll call up your lender and give them some overview of your financial information, being your income, your assets, your debts, and your credit score. And with that information, the mortgage lender can give you an estimate, a ballpark of how much home you can afford. The reason the pre-qualification is more of just a rough estimate is because the mortgage lender more often than not won't actually verify any of this information on your credit report and is just using a cursory look at your financial information. And if you don't provide them a full picture, well, your pre-qualification situation could be better or worse than the estimate that your mortgage lender gives you. But hey, at least this process is quick, usually free, and usually doesn't require any sort of mortgage application. And while you could technically put in an offer with just the pre-qualification information alone, usually a seller isn't going to accept a pre-qual, which is just a loose estimate from your mortgage provider based on some financial information that may or may not be entirely accurate or entirely representative of the whole situation going on with your finances. So in my opinion, a pre-qualification is really just useful if you're not necessarily looking to buy right now, but really just want an idea of what you could afford. But if you're actually serious about getting a home and if you want to commit to the buying process, then the first step you should take is getting a pre-approval. How does pre-approval work, you ask? Pre-approval is a lot more involved. You'll have to fill out an actual mortgage application, which you will be charged for. The lender is also going to require you to submit verifying documents that would confirm the information you provided in the pre-qualification. So it'd be things like pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, tax forms, your credit history. Once a lender is able to review these documents and your financial history and background, they'll be able to pre-approve you up to a specified amount. They'll also be able to give you a better idea of what interest rate you might be able to get, since it's based on your credit score that you'll be providing in these documents. So after all the trouble of going through the pre-approval process, you are provided with a conditional letter that gives you a specific mortgage amount that you would qualify for. And generally, you'll want to be looking at homes at or below that amount. So as I said before, pre-approval is the process you want to go with if you're serious about buying a home. And I would recommend you get a pre-approval done well before you start looking. In the market around the greater Boston area, the vast majority of offers without pre-approval letters will not be accepted. And some sellers would even hesitate to facilitate a private showing if you don't have a pre-approval. The greater Boston area is just a very competitive market, and most of the buyers in this market are pre-approved, so a cursory outlook on your financial situation just isn't going to cut it with the vast majority of sellers. And it's not uncommon that buyers lose out on opportunities to bid on properties they wanted because they didn't get pre-approved in time. While some properties do stick around for a while in the greater Boston area, a lot of properties also have offer deadlines that are within a week of the initial list date. Usually offer deadlines are used in order to facilitate a situation where there are multiple bids, and every time those multiple bids are going to have pre-approvals of their own, so if your bid comes in with just a pre-qualification, the seller is more than likely going to just ignore it. So if you didn't feel like watching the rest of the video and just want the pre-qualification versus the pre-approval summary, a pre-qualification is a brief overview of your financial situation by a lender that will allow them to give you a rough estimate of what you might be able to afford on the market. It's generally only useful for informational purposes for yourself. A pre-approval is an in-depth financial review that allows a lender to give you a hard number for what you can afford and a pre-approval letter that states the amount. In the greater Boston area, 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, this letter is going to be necessary to have an accepted offer on a property. So I hope that was helpful. If you'd like more information about the buying process or just more information about the greater Boston area itself, feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.